So I don't support one side or the other. I think both sides are pieces of shit. I have my values, and that's what it is. Now, there are people who are super far right, meaning they have extremist views, and then there's people who are super far left, meaning they have extremist views on the other side. This video was intentionally trying to promote the fact that people who are far right and have extremist far right views are martial artists and jiu-jitsu guys, and they're in the jiu-jitsu community, they're in the martial arts community. It's corrupt. The community is corrupt with this, and it's a national security threat, and we need to start paying attention to it, and for better words, exterminate. And why that bothers me is because what happened to you could easily have happened to me, right? It could have easily happened to, they targeted me and my business. And I'm not okay with that. As a fellow martial artist, fellow business owner, we're all just trying to make ends meet, doing the things we love to do. So when an organization like the CBC, who goes unchecked, because this is an unchecked story, and they did publish false things about your academy and things that were going on without verifying the story, simply to put it out there and push that narrative. So what it was they said these far right groups are training in these BJJ and MMA gyms. They're preparing for, global civil conflict that's
Race war.
yeah,
That's what they said, a race war.
Race war that's inevitable, and they're sparring in parks, and there's videos and photos of them sparring in these gyms, your gym and some other gym in Hamilton. And what really bugged me is they didn't need to use the name of the gym. They could have just said the gym, a gym. They purposely showed video of your gym's front banner. They purposely used the name. They purposely used photos of the inside of your gym. And the repercussions, are there because people like you, like I messaged you right away when I saw it. And, people were messaging you negative reviews, talking shit. And the one thing the media won't do is tell your side of the story and what really happened, right? They're going to put that out there, and that's going to be the end. And I figure, you know what? I'm not CBC view worthy yet. I don't have, even though they don't have fucking views. I'll get there. But I'm not that big, but at least we can put out there the real truth. And so people can really see what's going on and make sure that our community, jiu-jitsu community and martial arts community, doesn't get affected by this. So, give me your side of what happened and what the real truth behind that video and those accusations and all that.
And for sure, and look, like I'm not here to I first off, I hate the CBC as well. Like I think the CBC is a joke. Like there's nothing good on the CBC. I don't care what anybody says. Their news is crap, their shows are crap, whatever. Okay. And I understand this reporter has a job to do, and that's great. And he was sniffing around these second sons of Canada who are, to me, and this is what he's sniffing around this group and Diagolon and all these things that are supposed to be far right extremists and all this stuff. And I get it. It is a worry, but there's groups on all sides that have ideologies that don't match with Canada. Okay. But it seems like the CBC is more interested in painting. Like originally they were thinking that I was part of this group. And wouldn't I be the great target? The 6'1", blonde hair, blue eyed, ex-military, world champion in jiu-jitsu, athlete of the year in my local town. Wouldn't I be a great target to this is what the news media does. Just rip me down and find some little piece of dirt on me to rip me down and tear me down, because that's what people love nowadays. They don't like the hero story. They like the villain story, right? So, back in May, I have a guy who uses my gym on Friday nights. He literally teaches a bunch of dads, like they do fitness and they do some striking and grappling. It's They don't pay anything. They're just a bunch of dads from like their kids come to the gym and
Yeah.
local dads. So this group, the Second Sons, showed up one night and trained. It's not like they showed up and said, "Hey, we're a bunch of white supremacists. Can we train with you?"
Yeah.
Like on their website, if you look at their website, it doesn't mention white supremacy. It sounds to me, and this is what I, you know, I want to make sure I don't say anything that I shouldn't say. But
Yeah.
so what happened was the CBC went and interviewed a gym in Hamilton. They asked him if I was part of this group, if I was training these guys, if I was a white supremacist, white nationalist, whatever. Furthest thing from the truth. Okay. I have an Asian girlfriend. All right. Like, I can't be a very good white supremacist if I have an Asian girlfriend. You know? So then they went to my gym in Dunville and started accosting and recording and asking my partner, business partner there, questions about me and questions about this group of guys because they thought that was the gym they trained at. So my partner calls me, the guy from Hamilton calls me. They're like, "Kev, like this is crazy." I'm like, "I've never heard of these guys before." So I do a little research and I'm really perturbed because, like I said, I hate the CBC. I don't want to give them an interview. I'm
Yeah.
not going to give them an interview. So I'm like reluctantly and against my better judgment, I should have known better, but I was like in rage mode. I was in rage mode. So I call this clown from the CBC and I'm like, "Hey, bro," I'm like, "I don't know what your deal is. Here's what happened. These dudes showed up my gym one night. They took a picture. They trained. They took a picture with their flag. That was back in May. It's now June or July or whatever. I don't know who these guys are. I've done a little research on them now through the internet, and they seem to me like they're very disgruntled ex-military guys. They're afraid of what's happening in Canada, which legitimately, like I'm not sympathizing with them, but you got to admit, like there's a lot of people that are worried about the future of Canada.
Oh fuck yeah! Come to Toronto. I mean India, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
But I mean, I live in a pretty waspy, like I live in a pretty white city. Okay,
Yes.
Wellington's pretty white.
Oh,
Okay,
it's the whitest fucking place ever. When when I first went to Welland, right? Amir brought me like an Armenian guy and a brown guy and Paulo. I don't what's Paulo. Paulo's like some sort of fucking type of Spanish. Like they brought me there, and then you have this bald white guy, Chris,
yeah,
and I'm like, dude, why don't you guys bring me to the KKK gym,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And obviously he's still one of my best friends, so he's not a white supremacist,
No,
and he's one of my best friends. We talk all the time, so yeah, it's a white place. Put it that way.
yeah, and that's like Arthur joked too because Arthur came to Niagara Falls and he's like, "Dude, where's all the brown guys?" I'm like, "It's at the time in 2016." Our Niagara Falls location is very diverse compared to Welland. Okay. Like, and I'm not just saying that because the CBC is trying to say that there's a bunch of white supremacists in jiu-jitsu. And that's the thing about jiu-jitsu. We are so pluralistic in jiu-jitsu. Like I go to the States and I compete against people from all over the world, all kinds of different backgrounds. And it's always mutual respect. High five, knuckles, hugs after we exchange Instagram, we talk, we shoot the breeze. Man, like jiu-jitsu is not full of a bunch of racists. Is there racists in jiu-jitsu? Yes. I guarantee you there is.
Yeah.
But in any in the military, you have the military is just a section of Canada. There's going to be bigots. There's going to be anti-Semitic people in the military. I've run into anti-Semitic people in the military. Kids born in Jordan talking about how they hate the Jews. And it's literally, I'm staring at this guy like, "You're in the Canadian Armed Forces. You can't speak like this." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
just before I go crazy here, but just getting back. So basically, I told the CBC reporter, I don't know who these guys are. They seem to me that they're very disgruntled. I said they use military slogans and symbols, which is fucking ridiculous. You know, like you shouldn't be dragging the Canadian Armed Forces into your whatever it is you got going on. And I said, if, and this is what the CBC does, they leave out keywords. I said, if these guys are racist, they're scum, because there's no need for racism. It's so insane that you hate. I judge everybody on their individual character, and that's what every decent person I know judges people on their individual character.